about the line now that we have the people in our lobby. Notepad as well. That's quite a surprising ban for me. Yeah, we might be seeing some 4-player maps in this one. Pick from WavePy now. Yeah, we're gonna be starting on Sekigahara. The Wave and this map against me and then fix it now, to be fair. Yeah. Double check if it's bans again. Yet. Big ban. Reconcile ban. Reconcile and it's on. Have pick this either, I think. You know, yet to see, because I don't know if they want. Yeah, so maybe I shouldn't be mentioning them, but to be fair, they have been here. The assumption of just having all your epsilon banned. Blood feud back. What maps are even left at this point? Not. Okay. It is in fact open, and the decider is... Heavy Noises, is it? Yes, further ask. A bit more standard bands, not really targeted with WavePy. Oh, Cyclops is a pretty WavePy band, to be fair. Okay. All the things to send him private, the one that the other player needs to know. Okay, so we're gonna be starting on Sekigahara. With no garrisons and tech defense bunkers. I think those are the settings we have. Hoping the tunnel won't have issues, because I'm pretty sure there's 3 very different time zones for our current players, and that's not included. That's not the pick I was expecting. Lasers right now. Yet know if Blaze is going. Okay, it's gonna be on Discord. Okay, that's gonna be Hi-Hat versus China. Ally, let me be spectator and this one. We have a bit of a time to move. So these are somewhat untraditional picks for this map. Though I have played a lot of Hi-Hat on this. Not necessarily a great faction, because you usually want to base call quite a lot, and the MCV move is somewhat hard to defend, especially against Soviets, which can engage in bunker shenanigans. And with both other Soviet factions being banned, we might be seeing China for that purpose. We see an initial deploy, we have WavePy on the bottom left playing as the red China, and the Blazer on the top right playing as the blue Foreman. Both of them going for the racks. We have a racks into move and we have a just base call racks on the Foreman side. I think for forward, not moving your MCV is actually pretty sensible. Because you want to kind of take up, you want to play a bit ampier maybe than the average faction. We do have the Refiner being picked up, we have a single engineer being sent to the corner. It's probably gonna have to go for the power first so you can keep doing your tech. That's a lot of dogs. There's not a lot of night frames to try to counter Scout, but Blazer is also not going for the power oils as far as I can tell. One of the engineers is being kept alive. It does go down to the dogs. Some dog split gets the counter vision. The Lancer gets most of the vision around this area. It might have seen the barracks. We do see the field bureau now, but we also do see the power plant, so we did not skip the tech in this scenario. Neither has Blazer for that matter. Players go for a more traditional build order rather than use the power expansion. WavePy does have 3 oils to the current one that Blazer has. None of the players have taken the corner expansions. Blazer is scouting this one. The engineer has been built. You did not see a jackal to escort it, but the dog count on the map has started to thin out. You don't have a lot of cornies from WavePy, so we might not see the particularly early aggression we might be expecting here. We might still see like just a typical base call. You know, Blazer has made this entire conga line all the way into the gem patch and is currently mining from it exclusively. Go for an extra refinery, some extra miners. He's now started going to infantry. He is going broke, so not getting. I think he is microing the miners? No, maybe not. They are clumping up, so there is a second refinery being built. They might both go here. The current knife frame count should handle whatever is being built. The Connie reinforcements are pretty far away, the Lancers have not been called back, the engineer is going to go for this one. Oh, this is where the third war factory has gone, but he's not going to get a lot of reinforcement minor mites. And we see the base call. I think it's going to be a bunker push. Blazer can put a pretty big number in the actual infantry, but it's going to start crawling. You have the harass bunker, Lancer being built. Not immediately being targeted, two lasers should be able to handle that. They're starting to get targeted, not being microed away. Going to probably cost 2 lancers to remove this at this point. Might be 3. We have some static defense, but it's not going to do a lot to the bunkers. The bunkers are actually going to win that fight pretty easily. We have the Cyclones, we have some Lancers. The Lancers are going to be able to burst down bunkers somewhat easily, but they do have to get very close in. When they start having 3 to 4 bunkers next to each other, it's going to be tough. We do have the entire gem patch being mined out. We have a handful of miners being sent to this corner patch. WavePy has also finished his gem patch, but he's doing a lot better on actual... I'm not gonna say army count, because forward army count just tends to be a lot lower. We do have the nanofiber loom, we have huntresses. The infantry is being sent back, seems seemingly to defend against the Cyclops, so there is no current tanks on the defense. Oh, there is a handful. Power plant's gonna go down, WavePy is still doing very well on power because the base call has been mostly used with power. We might be seeing some mines. The mines are going to do a pretty decent number to the tanks. The Cyclops are being harassed off. Shockies are in production, but they're not being produced in the front line. WavePy is still taking up with this entire setup. They're going to harass the miners off. That's actually a very good... That's actually the base Cyclones, and there's 3 more. Somewhat decent split here. The group is back. The Shockies are going to defend the miners, most likely. There's not much more to be picked up at this point. There's only a single barracks, so removing it would actually do a pretty big number to the production right now. And WavePy is actually broke right now, but the Shockies... The Shockies are going to harass the entire force away. They're not being microed right now, he's focusing on the push. And we have King Frames, so those are not going to actually be very threatening bunkers anymore. We do see the Terror Drone, it does take a King Frame, but does go down afterwards. Laser is doing far better on Econ, the miners are not going to fall back this time. He might pick one more off. WavePy is somewhat broke. The King Frames are just going to handle most of the bunker threat. The miners are not going to care about the terror drones. Shadows are in production, tier 3 is out. WavePy is forcing his tier 3 as well, but he does not have a barracks. So most of the colonies are now in bunkers, and there is a lot of shockies, but the terror drones might actually be the most scary components right now. Inframes should be able to burst this Tesla coil really fast. Did they take the MCV? The fucking Cyclone sniped the MCV off. This war factor is gonna go down, and the King Frame should be easily able to push into the other one. The field blower is not gonna do a lot more at this point. The bunkers are still going to defend, but I think the King Frames cannot outrange them. The heroes are out. Blazer's in a very good spot right now. There's still some miners. They're mostly mining a pretty empty ore patch. There's a single warfack out on the field, and the Shadows are simply going to take the safe approach and slowly clear out the remaining bunkers. And MCV is being rebuilt now, but I think that's too much time cost. It does come out, it does get found. Production is not available anymore. MCV is back down. Are we going to see a... Okay, we still see the tier 3 being forced despite no barracks and no war factories. The tanks are mainly all out, the terror drones are going to start dropping, but they kill nothing. There's a single killing in the back, which is probably going to get focused by Shadows, and WavePy gives up on the rest of the match. I forgot to update my overlay as well, I just realized. The factions were not set. Okay, the next map we're going to have is Indian Knoll. Knoll. So, Blazer is currently leading this 1-0 on a map that WavePy picked. WavePy did not try to con rush, WavePy just tried to base crawl with the bunkers, but he did it pretty late, and he just started playing very defensively, and Blazer just flanked with a couple of cyclones and he lost the base to it. Okay, got... Wait, is this not banned? No. Okay, good. Yeah. Not Beast. Scorpion Cell versus Psycorps. I can't actually ally anyone specifically, but... Oops, I did not mean to open Spotify. Look. I don't have a position pick from Wave right now, but... I don't know if I should keep forcing it to happen or not, because I do know. Oh, there it goes. Okay, I'm gonna give it a 3, 2, 1. I'm just gonna run with it. Maybe actually change the factions for once this time around. We're gonna have Cyclops and Blazer. WavePy is gonna... Okay. So on the top right side we have Blazer as the blue Cyclops currently leading the series 1-0. And on the bottom left side we have WavePy playing as Scorpion Cell. Okay, see some pretty standard just 5-dog scouting. Blazer seems to be a slight bit behind on that, but not by a lot. NG is out. That oil is not going to get contested unless the dog can do a snipe, but it does not know. It's just going for the scout. It's picked off. Scorpion Cell is normally the faster faction of the two, but you still have the Marauders, which simply kinda break that rule set for the most part. So this oil did not get captured. Blazer is on his third, but did contest WavePy's fourth. Or his third. Engineer is out. It is going to go for the uncontested oil right now. There's some dogs. I still don't think Blazer has a perfect scout on the base. WavePy clearly has one. Okay. Like that arrived to prevent further spookage. Ghost Miner Refineries, we see double War Factory, so it's probably gonna be a bit more of a don't worry about it, I have the time to macro up and just pump more miners. But you do usually want 2 refineries here, because your miners are going to start clumping up at some point. Yeah, the Pandora Hub, Scorpion Cell, it's not going to immediately... Okay, Wave does see the... Okay, we also have the MCV move, we already have a very early, very aggressive expansion. We're probably going to see an engineer trying to contest the oils. The one singular GAT seems to be the only thing that's currently stopping, well, any contest. But there's not a lot of army units, it's mainly just dogs and the one GAT WavePy also has. We're going to immediately see more... Yep, immediately another refinery. We have an engineer being built back, but the spook does get seen and does not die for the engineer. That was very close actually. The GAT, however, is going to probably get a free engineer. We're going to see that GAT 1v1? No, it's going to run away. Lashers. Engineers back and archers on the field. Blazer starting to go into army. WavePy is still forcing... Okay, WavePy is getting adepts on the field. But he does not have a lot of army to support them right now. He is on 4 derricks. Both players have somewhat sufficient money. Blazer's probably actually gonna go for this oil unless he just has the NG... No, it's actually going for the top one. But he does have a pretty easy access to this one as well. We have Mantis tanks being pushed. We have some infantry. We have a singular adept actually. Mantis tanks out. They might have a decent time sniping some stuff. Okay, Blazer's not going to try to contest this oil, he's just going to remove it. It's 3-2. WavePy is keeping his army tied together, so if Blazer tries to split, he might have to win a fight where he's outnumbered. We have some speeder bikes being continuously built. We have tier 3 from WavePy. We do not have tier 3 from Blazer, and it's not yet being built. We're also not yet seeing... Okay, models are now in production. Single initiate being picked off by the adept. The speeders are poking. Okay, we're going to see frontline adept being spammed now. WavePy's adept is still doing stuff. Sniping a tank every once in a while, sniping some infantry. That's a vision, I don't even know whose player that is, actually, I don't even know how to tell. Orders are happening. Okay, there's 3 of them in the army right now. Malver is out, but he's behind the war factory, and Scourge is also being built with the cloning bats. Blazer is still not on tier 3, but I don't think he's going to go for tier 3. I think he's going to try to make this happen with just the tier 2.5 or whatever the hub's at. We do not have splatters. WavePy is going to get contested for the MCV move. Scourges are decent, but they're not going to kill everything here. He knows about the miners, but he does not have any detection in his army. Most of the army gets picked off right now. He has a free field day to just kill the MCV right now. Because the Lashers are going to still do very decent damage. There's not a lot of tanks, but there's not a lot of stuff to counter everything, and there's not a lot of anti-infantry, but the Marauders are still going to handle the amount of infantry being pushed right now. Malva is somewhere, I don't know where Malva is, to be fair. Okay. That goes to whoa. The map is gonna be Blood Feud. Redux. What positions did we have for Bloodfield Redux? Wait, I forget. It was... I think it's the far ones, it's 3 versus 4. And one pick is in. Both picks are in. I have Hi-Hat. This is EA. Laser is going to be playing Hi-Hat. WavePy will be EA. Oh, it's also 2-2. Laser picks 4. WavePy is going to go on 3. I like Hi-Hat for the mines, I guess, if they're happening. Okay. Get like a way to... Oh no, whatever. No, started. On the bottom right side we have Blazer playing as Hi-Hat for the second time this set, currently leading the series 2-0 and being on match point. Top left side we have WavePy playing as EA. This map I'm not very familiar with, so I can't entirely say what's like the standard for it. Pretty open map, so fast factions seem to have some advantage. There's a lot of ore, so you wanna keep crawling, you wanna keep... This is technically a 2-player map. It's still 2 oils versus 2 oils, but you have this basically entire expansion area. But I think you're going to want to expand with either MCV moves or just new MCVs. Dogs being cut off. Another one on the left side, the Lancer is not going to actually be able to remove it. We have the War Factory being built, War Factory again. I think this map is not really possible to have very early aggression. There is a sentry, it's going to spot it, it's going to go around it. Oh, another sentry, no, pillbox. Going for the second refinery. The War Factory is not yet out for Blazer. I think the power plant has a slightly longer production time for one. This is not really defendable. I think Blazer can just take it. Because what is Wave gonna do? Just start forcing more infantry? Robot attacks? Third Lancer coming up to just make sure this happens as well. Both players just focusing on macro at the moment. Nanofiber being produced, more power being produced. We're gonna see the airfield misfit. Yep, the airfield's out. There's a slight lag spike right now. Hopefully it won't be something very relevant. Both players are now starting to work on the gem patch. A lot of pillboxes have been placed. There's still no actual infantry from Wave, so if the 3 Lancers can just avoid the pillbox fiesta, they can harass some of the miners. But oh no, they're just going to go for the oil. No, he's going to force the miner off. He actually snipes it. Wave does not get the teleport away. Blazer's currently moving the MCV, going for the next player expansion. There is Rocketeers out in the field. They're probably going to get 1 or maybe 2 Lancers, but the King Frame or Night Frames are out to start defending. Okay, he's going to take the 2 Lancers and leave. Airplanes are out, or Harriers. Harriers are not particularly anti-infantry relative to other allied airplanes. We have some GGIs, there's not yet any tanks on the field. We have Huntresses, we don't have that many Night Frames. Okay, we do actually have a handful of Night Frames. Both players are broke, but Blazer is currently mining from 2 places and Wave is only on a single oil right now. He's not repaired his second one either. He did also invest in a full airplane loadout, but he is going for tier 3 and the Blazer does not yet have this privilege. He'll go for the frontline barracks, he's going for some tanks, Cyclops precisely. The airplanes, I think, sniped the miner in the front line. I think the Rocketeers are just getting some extra scouting in the meantime. Prisms are being built, Siegfried is being built, tier 3 is being used at capacity. Blazer is going to go for a push right about now, which is a pretty decent timing before Siegfried actually arrives, but by the time he makes it, he does need to go quite fast to make it work. Cyclopses are going to get picked up by Harriers. They're going for a flank, but there are not going to be that many of them. Siegfried is out. The miners are being pushed off. Mirages are also some Mirages are out. That's a lot of Lancers. The oil is most likely going to go down. It will explode and they will all be pretty low, so Prism tanks can do a pretty big number on them. A tank gets picked up, but you lose 3 airplanes for the 1 tank. They're being built back. Prism tanks and GGIs are still being built. That is something that WavePy does actually enjoy doing. Not terribly easy to actually counter. You basically need the nanofiber loomed not synchronins. What's the spy unit being called again? I forget. I'm not a fan of the nanofiber loom there, honestly. The tanks are going to harass a bit, but they're not going to snipe that much because the GGIs are going to deny most of it. Okay, they're actually going to go past, they're going to get the airfield, they're diving the tier 3. The tier 3 gets the shielded. Snipers are out on the field, they're not the greatest units as far as I'm aware, but you do not lose a lot of the Cyclones, but the remaining ones are pretty low. There is, however, no GGIs around the main infantry squad. Siegfried goes down, tier 3 is still alive, but it's very low. The Prism Micro can keep them alive, and they keep putting out a lot of damage while still being going. There's not a lot of that Blazer can just do to simply snipe this right now, I don't think so. There was an MCV move at 10, but it got cancelled. We do not have tier 3s at this moment to have additional power. WavePy is broke, Blazer's floating 40k, but currently this is a 2 racks 1 War Factory production, so now it's going to be tier 3 time, but the snipers are actually starting to pick off Huntresses and such in the field, but you can get a healing cloud. The GGIs are not going to run away from that. The Cyclones dive through the GGI, so they don't actually get much on the actual Prism tanks. The Lancers, however, are pretty, the Railgunneers, however, pretty tanky, but Prism tanks are... Why the fuck are Prism tanks so fast? I'm just now realizing. The Prism tanks can actually just keep themselves going for a little bit. Siegfried is back out, but he's not near the army right now. Any amount of leaving your army just near Prism tanks will probably lead to a lot of damage being dealt for no good reason. Great processor being built up. Cyclops, we have the one Irritator. The high-head heroes are being built up. I think Finn is the anti-infantry one though, so it's not going to help with the Prism tanks as much. Yes, I can confirm that's the way it is. The Miners and the Cyclones can actually put a pretty big number in there, because though there is not a lot of anti-infantry, well, there's a lot of anti-infantry left in the one unit that does every anti-infantry needed. As for static defense, I think the Prism tanks don't quite outrange it, but they're going to be able to burst it down without much casualty. And now we have additional war factories. WavePy is doing fine on cash now. He did opt to MCV move. He does not yet have production nor mining facilities in that area, but he's probably going to go for the production first. think a new batch of Cyclone flanks is trying to happen. The Megalodons should be able to be a proper threat this time around. He's going to dive the prisms. He's okay. The GGs are going to fall back. They're going to do a very big numbers prisms. They're actually just going to remove all the prisms. The Megalodons are the answer. And in the meantime, the infantry blob just takes down the entire GGI army. Wave does have a bit of army left at home, but it's mostly just the GGIs. There's not a lot of prisms left with it. Diving on the MCV. Removing the frontline production. There is a invisible pillbox there. Okay, there's another one there. Going to not quite snipe infantry, but it's going to deal some free damage. The one Megalodon is still alive. The Cyclops are not being contested. There's no more infantry in the field, and that's GG. And Blazer is going to take this game, the set, 3-0. Just